who don't get it because of this rule.
And it's like, just to use the Pirates as an example, you said the best guy on their team you don't think is even an all-star, probably a reliever or something like that, but if they have room to actually allow the best players to be all-stars, if they knocked away these silly every team gets a player, if they took that away, then who knows, you might see a couple Pirates actually out there this weekend. And the argument you always hear is, what if you're a Royals fan? You're not going to see your team represented in the All-Star game without this rule in place. And my answer to that is, like a better team.
Yeah.
Don't try to force worse players into an All-Star exhibition game just to satisfy the 17 Royals fans there are.
And, by the way, here is the Pittsburgh representative.
Oh, here we go.
It's the relief pitcher, Joel Hanrahan. Who is, I believe, like 21 for 22 in save opportunities.
Wow, okay.
But they have a position player, an outfielder, who quite honestly belongs on this squad. And I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But, I'm looking at the reserves here. Carlos Beltran of the Mets. He hasn't been a factor in, 3 or 4 years. But Victorino, but he just now recently, he put on the DL, so they'll replace him, I think, with Andre Ethier. But yeah, I just don't like this. Every team has to have a representative.
No, the way I think it should be, and I think it should be like this with literally every All-Star game, and going back to it's for the fans kind of mentality. And I know I've said something about this before on this show, and not everyone agreed, but I think it needs to be 100% up to fan voting who plays in these games. 100%. I don't like the fact that managers get to pick players because they inevitably always pick someone from their own team. So then you have the guys that are part of the All-Star game just because they're on a team, saying one person has to go. And then you have other guys that are in the All-Star game because their managers happen to be the manager and they like them, so they put them on. So then you have all these undeserving players out there, and you turn on the TV to watch the All-Star game, and you're saying, I've never even heard of half of these guys. Where's Jeter?
I agree 100%, and that's one of the problems I have with the All-Star game. I just, the best players aren't always in there, and like you said earlier, one of them is that ridiculous if you pitch on Sunday type thing. I just hate that.
Yeah, and it's and that's awful. I just give the fans a little credit. I hate it when people say, the fans don't know what's best, and you can't let the fans do it. And give the fans credit. We know what we want to watch. We know who we like to see on the field. We know what we like. Don't tell us what we should like.
Here's the problem, though. You'll get certain cities, I have to admit St. Louis is one, but you get some cities who you get 25 votes, and believe me, fans will use every one of them. And that's a problem. You get a lot of stuffing the ballot box, so to speak.
But from the other side of that, and that makes good sense, but from the other side of that, if those are the most passionate fans about your sport that they're willing to go and stuff the ballot to get their players in there, well, then they deserve to see the players they want to be in there, because those are the people that are giving you money for your product. Those are your most passionate and loyal fans. They're willing to take the time to do something like that. That's the same when people get upset about the NBA All-Star Game and how Yao Ming gets voted in every year. I have to remind people, hey, listen, a large portion of the NBA fan base is in China. It is. They watch.
Yeah.
It's not just here.
They're rabid fans.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
They watch the sport, and so they get a voice also, to put out what they want to see. So, you got to keep that in mind.